Before I begin this video, I have to explain the title of it. Pikmin, the greatest game I never played. I could just say that the game had came out in 2001, and I was born in 2006, and then I can just leave it right there. But what's the fun in that? The little story of why I chose this video boils down to when I was born into a family of gamers. I already had a Nintendo DS, a Wii, you name it, and as well as all the other previous consoles. My dad had loved playing games when he was younger. My mom did as well, and my sister was playing games like Sonic around the time. So naturally, I was pretty much born into it, right? Throughout all of the consoles that we had, though, in the game libraries, the one that probably interested me the most was the GameCube. We had all the basics. I didn't have a lot, but I did have all the good shit. I had Sunshine, Double Dash, you name it. My first that I remember playing like crazy was Cars, of all fucking games, but I was also like 4 or 5, so what can you really do? However, there was one game title that I did own that interested me, even though I never ended up playing it, and that was Pikmin. I loved the box art for it. It intrigued me, but I never ended up playing it. It wouldn't be until years later when I'd meet Super Tendo. I'm sure maybe if you guys have seen a couple videos, you might know who that is. He's a massive Pikmin fan. He absolutely loves it, and he would always for years tell me about how fire the franchise is and how I should play it, but I just never ended up doing it. Then a few years later, most recently in 2023, they had Pikmin 4 come out, and as well they had the HD ports of Pikmin 1 and 2 coming to the Switch. And then in 2020 they had Pikmin 3 Deluxe, and all that intrigued me, and I really wanted to give it a shot. So my sister had actually bought me Pikmin 1 and 2 as a little gift, and I decided that now was as good of a time as ever to have jumped into the franchise, and when I played it, I absolutely fucking loved it. So what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and in today's video, I am going to be talking about the greatest game that I never played until this point, Pikmin. Alright, before we begin this, of course I gotta go over the story, but I just killed some fucking insect looking thing. That really startled me, so if I sound a little shooken up, I apologize. But anyways, in this game, you follow Captain Olimar, who is making his way through the sky in his little ship, the SS Dolphin, which has a cute little fact, is the GameCube's development codename. But anyways, an asteroid hits his ship, causing him to crash on an Earth-like planet, and the amount of oxygen Olimar has is exactly 30 days. And his entire ship is broken into exactly 30 pieces, which just so conveniently is the amount of days that you have of oxygen, or else you fucking die if you don't get all 30 parts. You can go for like 25 to get the good, normal ending, but real ones go for all 30 in the first game. On your first day, when you crash onto the planet, you see a little red thing sticking out in the ground, which you just so happen to learn is a red Pikmin, and together, you and all the Pikmin that you get on that first day work together to get the first ship part back into the spaceship, and then you end the day right there. And right there, that's fucking perfect. That's all you really need. Olimar himself is a very easy character to get behind. He's just an adorable little guy, He's a simple family man who just stays out the way, and that's something that I have to adore. I also wanted to touch on the atmosphere of the game. I fucking love it as well. That's another thing too. The game, you just get that vibe from it, you know what I mean? I feel like the whole GameCube era period you get a good vibe from, or like a unique feel compared to other game consoles and games on it, but there's something specifically about Pikmin, the first one, that just really fucking does it for me. I don't know what it is. It could be the game's music, which, by the way, if you want just a banger, Force of Hope and The Distant Spring, those are my two favorites. They're both classics. I really think those two tracks in specific paint this perfect scenery for the game. It's a calming game, but it also pisses you off. Now, the gameplay is the best part of the game for me. You see, prior to this, the closest experience that I really had to a game kind of like this, I would say, is Mario plus Rabbids, which I think is fucking phenomenal, by the way. The most underrated games on the Switch by far. Pikmin does this whole strategy science shit to a T right here. It's absolutely perfect for the most part. Your basic controls is Olimar himself, but you as Olimar are able to dictate your Pikmin and control where they go and what they do. So if you call them using B, they're all gonna come around you and gather. You can also disband them with X, and they'll all organize into their own little groups, which is a lovely detail. There's a lot of different things that you can do, and I like that you can separate them into different tasks. So if you need blue Pikmin to break down a wall that has to be in water, you can do that. Or if you need yellows to go and jump and reach a high up treasure, or reds to attack, you can do all three of that at the same time, which I think is dope. Additionally, while I'm on that subject, I gotta talk about the different types of Pikmin. So the first ones that you get are the red ones, and they are the ones who can attack the best, give off the most damage, and they can also be fire resistant. So that comes very helpful in the Forest Naval. Next, there are yellow Pikmin, and as I mentioned prior, they're able to jump up higher than any other ones, but they can also carry bomb rocks, which can be very useful to break down a specific kind of wall. And then lastly, blue Pikmin are able to go into water, which doesn't really make them the best in comparison to the other two, but that is still a very helpful scenario, as in a place like the Distant Spring, a lot of water surrounding it, so blue Pikmin are almost vital to that portion of the game. I did also want to mention that there are 5 different areas in the game. There is the impact site where you first start out, there is the Forest Naval, which is kind of the little tutorial area, there is the Forest Naval, which just fucking sucks, period. There's the Distant Spring, which is this huge ass area surrounded by water. And then there is the final trial, which is your last little test, your final boss, whatever you want to call it. There are a lot of different enemies up in the game. There's common enemies such as Bulborbs, which they are fairly easy to defeat. You can even one-shot it if you just line up your Pikmin right. But then there are some fucking evil beings in this game, such as the Emperor Bullblacks, who can easily just wipe out an entire fucking squad of your Pikmin with a stomp. There's the spider, who I forgot the name of it, but you probably see the gameplay on it right now. Fuck that spider, I can say with confidence. All of this is absolutely perfect. It just makes Pikmin just a fucking banger. It allows for this deep strategy, which on the surface you don't really think. You just think it's a nice relaxing game, you collect your little Pikmin, but no. Each death of a Pikmin feels like your fucking heart gets stomped on. It absolutely sucks ass, especially when it's an entire fucking squad that gets wiped out. That's probably the worst. The idea of your success being determined by your decisions and your quick time thinking in dangerous situations, it's all done beautifully, and it really makes the game feel special in a way, something that I've never seen in another game before. Now, of course, there is flaws that I have to mention. The biggest being the Pikmin themselves. Their AI, you can tell that it is not very advanced, and it does get a lot better in later entries, I should say. Pikmin 2, from everything that I had played in that, it was great. 3 and 4, I'm obviously sure, are 10 times better. But the AI in this game fucking stink ass. You can be perfectly fine, have all of your little Pikmin all gathered up, and then one dumbass decides to just fucking go into the water for a swim, and he's not a blue Pikmin, so he drowns and he dies. It's the little things like that that make it very frustrating, because, you know, that's not on you, that's on specifically the Pikmin, and that happens a lot throughout this first game. It does get better in 2, 3, and 4, I will say, but in this game, it's by far the worst. But that doesn't really stop me from loving it as much as I do. But overall, everything that I had mentioned, it's just perfect. It's just absolutely perfect. Even through its flaws, I think that this game is beautiful, straight up, and it is one of my all-time favorite games, without a doubt. At the time of me recording this video, I have yet to start Pikmin 3. I beat 2, but I have not beat 3 yet. I just got it for my birthday, which was a couple days ago, if you guys care. But anyways, that was my thoughts on Pikmin. This was why this is the greatest game that I never played. A little clickbait of a title, but that's alright, don't we all? If you have played Pikmin 1 or are thinking about playing it, let me know down below everything that you thought, or just the video period. I'm trying this little style here where I write a script kinda, but I just go off in my own little thoughts with it, hoping for a good little balance. I don't want to sound robotic, which was something that I felt like I was doing in the last video, or the last 2 videos. But anyways, that's besides the point. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.